To develop proper push pattern mechanics, it's a good idea to start with a normal push-up movement. Before you begin the movement, start in what would be the upper part of your push-up and run through the following checkpoints. First, make sure that your shoulders are stacked over your wrists and that your fingers are pointing forward. Second, your back and your head should both be in braced and neutral positions. Third, brace your core. And fourth, squeeze your glutes to ensure that you aren't sagging your hips towards the floor during the movement. As you begin to lower yourself towards the ground, pay attention to the angles of your upper arms and your elbows. They should be angled back towards your feet as opposed to flaring directly out to your side. If each of your arms were hands on a clock, they would be angled roughly towards the 8 and the 4. If performing a normal push-up like this is too difficult for you at this time, don't sweat it. There are plenty of variations and tactics that we can employ in order to develop the strength necessary for you to be able to perform this exercise. What I don't want is for you to force the movement by sacrificing form. It's also important that you film yourself as you perform this movement and then share it with me so that we can dissect anything that needs to be fixed. For the sake of this video, however, I will touch on one thing that I have found to be the most common compensatory movement throughout my time as a trainer. That is flaring elbows way out to your side when performing the push-up. This allows for the front shoulder to take up the slack of underactive and weak pectorals. However, if you do have the strength necessary to properly execute this movement and are still flaring your elbows out, it can simply be a matter of practicing the proper pattern enough to make it stick. You'll notice here that in my current position, my elbows are already pointed out to the side and that my shoulders are rounded forward. By getting set up and doing push-ups this way, it makes me less efficient at targeting my pectoral muscles, which should be my primary muscles for this exercise. It can also increase wear and tear in my shoulder joint because I'm rounding them forward and out of a neutral placement in my glenohumeral joint. One way to get set up to avoid excessive elbow flare is to begin by getting your hands firmly pressed into the ground, fingers pointing forward. From this position, externally rotate your arms without letting your hands lose connection to the floor, while simultaneously bringing your shoulder blades towards your back pockets. This will bring your shoulder blades into a more stable pressing position. It will also get your upper arm and elbow alignment set up from the get-go. If needed, we can regress the movement so that you're pressing from a more inclined position. Whatever angle you're pressing from, though, all of the cues and movement tips remain the same.